Hello YouTube, Redneck Reloader here. I am going to make this video about bullet selection and talk a little bit about the different types of bullets and what you should be looking for when you're selecting bullets. I'm primarily going to talk about pistol bullets because I've got a lot more variety of them to talk about. I only load .223 and rifle rounds, and I only use jacketed bullets for that, which is by far the most common bullet used for .223. But I know there are some rifle rounds that use lead bullets and things. I just don't load any of those, and I don't feel like I am well versed enough in it to try to teach somebody else about them. But primarily I'm going to talk about pistol. But as far as the basic types of bullets, they're the same. Couple of things first, just some random thoughts I wanted to get out there. I want to thank all my new subscribers. This channel's really grown a lot in the last 6 months. Seems like just about every day I'm getting a new subscriber. I was shocked when I got to 20. So I know I'm not the most entertaining person in the world, but I do try to help people and try to share some of my knowledge, and it must be working because a lot of you are joining. I know a lot of you are just getting into reloading because of this ammo shortage, and I know it's been very frustrating to try to find components, and I'm going to try to help you with that as much as I can from what I can do. I did a video, my last one I did was about using small rifle primers in pistol rounds and showing you that you can do that, and you might have to stretch out and do something a little bit different. This is brand new for me, Vori powder. Never used this before, but my local gun store is down to this is all they have left, and you can only buy a pound of it. So I bought 1 pound. I planned on going back the next day and getting another pound, but unfortunately life kicked in and I wasn't able to do that. So it's going to be a little while before I can get back over there. So I hope they have some more, but I had to use this. It's a little more expensive. It's $39.99. Most of the powder I get, it's from the same store. For example, this Hodgson, you can see it's $28.99. A lot of rifle powder is more like $30. So it's a bit more expensive, but you know, if I want it, that's what I had to get. I know primers are scarce, and I just want to relay a quick story, and I know I get long-winded, but I'm sorry, that's just me. When I was researching this Vori powder and which one to use with .223, I found a thread online. I was reading it, and then one of the guys in the thread put down at the bottom, P.S., and said, I'm just kind of paraphrasing, he said, what's the situation in your neck of the woods? He was in New Hampshire, and he said he had to drive 2 hours to his closest local gun shop, and said they were limiting, you could buy 1 pound of powder and 500 primers. Oh, well, hell, that ain't bad. At least I had primers. You could get them, you know. But then I looked down at the date, and that post was made of November 2013. So these shortages happen every election year. And that was, you know, Obama was reelected in 2012. And this was November 2013. So this was a full year after Obama was reelected. And, you know, by that time, Obama had already been in office. A lot of the fears of what he was going to do as far as making guns illegal and stuff he'd had 5 years to work on it, and 4 years at least, you know, until the election, but 5 years at the time this post was made. And so you think that people would have settled down a little bit, but things still hadn't caught back up yet. So this is a long-term thing. And I'm sure a lot of you are getting into reloading because of this ammo shortage and probably finding this primer shortage pretty frustrating. And it's easy for people to say, well, next time you'll learn, you know, when things get back to normal, you'll stock up, which I'm sure you probably will. Don't let that dissuade you from getting into reloading. Go ahead and try. Get components when you can, and then you'll be ready for next time. I'm going to give you a location where you can buy primers right now. This guy's had primers in stock for about 2 weeks, and I've told some of my friends, and they've got some from him, and they've been happy with them. And I just checked a few minutes ago, he's still got them in stock. So I'm going to share them with my YouTube friends now. I don't have 10,000 subscribers, so I know you guys probably aren't going to buy them out immediately. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. These are not new primers. This guy sells surplus military stuff. These were primers from 30 caliber ammo from 1972, and they were, rounds that were pulled down, bullets pulled, powder removed, and the primers removed, and they're reselling the primers. He says on there their testing has shown them to be 99% plus reliable. So it's just an option, and they can be used they work great in 223, and they can be used in pistol. Downside is they're expensive. He's wanting $75 for 1,000, and that's about double price of new, and these are almost 50 years old, or are 50 years old, and they've been loaded once and deprimed, so you would expect them to be cheaper, but I guess if you're the only show in town, you can get that. But anyway, if you're just really desperate for primers, I'm not going to buy any from him because I feel like I have enough to hold me over. But like I said, some of my friends have bought them. They've been happy with them. He does have them. His name is Jeff Bartlett, B-A-R-L-E-T-T. It's Bartlett Reloaders. He's out of Owensboro, I believe, Kentucky. And if you're desperate for primers, go there. Go under the miscellaneous section, and they're there. You can order them from there. And so if you got all your other components and you're just lacking those, then that's an option for you. Last thing before I get into the video, last little random note. The reason I couldn't go back and get a second pound of powder is I've tested positive for COVID-19, and I'm quarantined for 14 days, and I am sick as a dog. Sickest I've ever been in my life. This stuff is no joke. I'm a nurse, and I actually work in a COVID unit. So, not shocking I ended up getting it. But this stuff's serious, man. I'm whipped. I've been quarantined. This is my 3rd day. This first day I felt strong enough to get out here, and just this little bit, I'm already just whipped. It just takes all your strength. So I'm going to be kind of low energy this video. So I ask you to just forgive me, and I'll try to get through as best as I can. But I was going to say, I'm hoping I'm going to get a little stronger. My friends have had it. Well, said it's usually the 6th or 7th day is the worst, and then you start getting better. So I'm going to have some free time on my hands here where I'm locked down. So if there's anything specific you guys want to see in a video, just leave a comment. I read all my comments. Don't have enough that I overlook them. I look at every comment. I don't always respond to everyone, but I do look at them. So if there's anything specific you want me to talk about, let me know. I'd appreciate it, the ideas. So, all right, let's get on with bullets. So when I first started reloading, there's a myriad of bullets, and choosing the right one can be kind of daunting, but it's really not that bad. You've got 4 basic types of bullets, and the 4 are just a lead bullet, and this is an example of one of those. I'd say solid lead, but it's actually not solid lead. They mix tin and I think antimony and other stuff in to make the lead harder, but that's what you would call a solid lead bullet. You can see it's got that blue band around it. That's a lube groove, and when they cast the bullets, now this one's been coated, but it's got a lube band in it, so you can see when they cast a bullet, they leave a band in there. They'll fill that with lube, and that'll lubricate the bullet as it goes down the barrel to try to cut back on leading. So that's one type of bullet. Another type that's really, really popular right now, and I think they've been out, I think for about 10 years or so. They've started in Australia, is coated bullets. This is a high-tech bullet coating. It's a liquid that they cast the lead bullet, and then instead of lubing it, they tumble it in this liquid and then bake it, and it bakes on, and it coats the bullet. Some people are doing this at home using powder coat, which is basically the same procedure. They just tumble it in powder so the powder adheres to it, and then they bake it and bake the powder on. That's a very popular option right now. They're just about everything I've bought here lately has been coated, high-tech coated. They're a little bit cheaper than jacketed bullets, but the performance is pretty close, and you don't get as much leading as you do with a solid lead bullet. Which these solid leads, I've shot a lot of these. They don't really lead up your guns too bad if you load them correctly. You don't want to try to push them too fast, which I use mine in my 45 mostly, and it's not a real fast moving bullet anyway. But you don't want to load them up too fast, because the friction in the bullet and the barrel will cause them to smear lead in there. You also don't want to under pressurize them. You want it to get enough pressure to expand that bullet into the barrel, because if you don't, those hot gases will go around the bullet and will melt it while it's going down the barrel, and you still have the leading issues. So the other type of bullet you hear a lot, full metal jacket, FMJ. This is these are all 45 bullets, 230 grain ball. This is from Everglades. This is a jacketed bullet. So if you look, it's open on the base. It's got a lead core and a fairly heavy lead jacket that completely encloses the bullet. This is your most popular bullet out there, and probably the most expensive you're going to buy. These are great. The jacket keeps the lead from coming in contact with the barrel. You can push these really fast, fire them hard, nice high charges in them. Another type of bullet you'll see a lot. These are 9mm. This is a 9mm, but this is a plated bullet. It's kind of similar to the jacketed, but you'll notice that they're sealed up completely. The way they make these is they take just a regular lead bullet and they electroplate it and attach copper to the outside. I don't know a lot about the process. I know it involves, you put it like in a fluid bath that has copper in it, and they pass electricity through it, and that causes the copper to come out of the liquid and bond to the bullet. Very similar to a full metal jacket, but the difference is it's a thinner coating. These perform more like a lead bullet as far as load data and stuff. You can't push them quite as fast as a jacketed bullet. You have to use different load data. Some load books will put in specific for plated bullets, but a lot of times I've just used cast bullet information. And there is a Lyman made years ago a cast bullet book just for loading cast bullets. I've got a copy of that, and I use that for the plated and also for the high-tech coated bullets. There are a few companies out there. I noticed Eggleston ammunition, I believe it is. They put load data out for their bullets. They make the high-tech coated bullets, and they put out load data for theirs. And I've used it for the coated bullets, and it's really good info too. You can get that off their website. It's Eggleston Munitions, I believe it is. So anyway, as far as types of bullets, that's about it. What I recommend when you get started, there's nothing wrong with the jacketed bullet or plated bullet, but these high-tech coated bullets right now, they're about the best bargain for your buck. Like I said, I shoot a lot of those. There's also This is a 9mm jacketed hollow point. So this is a full metal jacket, but you see it's not open on the base. It's open up on the hollow point end, and but it's still a jacketed bullet. Now, when you get into bullets, you got to find something that works with your gun. My 9mm and my 40 cal are great. They'll feed anything I throw at it, just about. My 45 gave me fits when I first got it, and I'm gonna get one more bullet out here that I forgot I wanted to show you. So when I first started loading my 45, you know, the old standard 45 round is a 230 grain ball ammo, and all three of these are 230 grain ball. One's full metal jacket, one's high-tech coated, and one is just lead. These I can get to feed in my gun, but they're kind of a pain. Same way with these. This lead bullet, I cannot get these things to feed reliably in my gun. They have been pain in the butt since day one. I still got a whole box of them back here, that 100 of them sitting there that I will probably never use, because I just could not get them to feed in my gun. And when you wonder, well, why would one feed and one wouldn't one? My problem is the ogive of the bullet. And the ogive, it's actually a term from architecture to describe a shape of an arch. So, you know, if you look at these bullets, if you look at the base, they're the same. Flat base, they're basically the same diameters. They have to be, otherwise they won't fit in the case. But once you get out past the end of the case, the shape of the bullet can be different. And if you look at these two, you can kind of see that. The lead bullet's a little bit longer, a little more pointed shape to it. But the problem I have with these bullets in my gun is when I load them and they're a little bit longer, they will not go into battery in my gun. When I try to drop them in, they will not go all the way into battery, and I have to smack the back of the slide to get them to go in, because the ogive of the bullet gets into the rifling, and it's hitting and my chamber in that gun is really tight, and they're hitting that before they really should, and it doesn't want to seat in all the way. So the answer to that is to seat the bullet deeper. And when I seat these deep enough that they're not hitting those and they'll just drop right into battery, then I have a problem with them feeding out of the magazine, because your bullet, you know, sits horizontal in your magazine, and then when it comes forward, it rides up your feed ramp, and then when it gets to the top of the ramp, it's got to make that turn to go in to the barrel, and so it hits up here and turns. Well, when I get those loaded short enough that they won't hit the rifling, what happens is they ride up the feed ramp and they hit that crown up there in the barrel and just jam and just stick right there, and they will not feed. And so I've fought with these. I've tried different lengths. I've tried resizing the bullets. I've tried everything I could think of, and I cannot get these to feed reliably. And I had a lot of the same trouble with these two, just not quite as bad, but I was still having a lot of misfeeds, to the point where I was thinking it was my gun, and I was kind of getting fed up with my gun. But I got some of these from Acme. Now, this is not a 235 grain. This is a 225 grain. Slightly less, but you can see the ogive is a very different shape. This is what they call a truncated cone. And these things feed like butter in my gun. They just go right through. I don't think I've ever had a misfeed with any of these. They just run wonderfully. And then experimenting around, I also found this. This is a 200 grain. I'm trying to remember what they call this. I think they call it a round nose flat point. So basically it's a ball shape, but the top shaved off so it's flat. This is a 200 grain. And these feed wonderfully in my gun. So I have just pretty much quit using 230 grains altogether. I bought a bunch of these 225s and I've been using those. But then I landed on those 200s and have been just thrilled with those. So I've got a bunch of those on back order and waiting for them to come in. I actually got those in high-tech coating though. and I'm going to try those. As long as they work well, I think I'm just going to stick with those. But I just have to stay away from those 230 grains in my particular gun. And I said that's the only gun I have that problem with. Now, 9mm, this is just 115 grain plated, pretty standard round nose. Shoot those by the ton. Got a few of these hollow points. If you're interested in hollow points, I'll just give you an example from Everglades Ammo. 100 of these and 100 of these, the difference in cost is $1. So, you know, you go to the store and buy a box of hollow points, you're going to get a box of 20, and you're going to pay as much as a box of 50, just round nose. But they use the same case, same primer, same powder, same charge for the most part. The only thing different is the actual bullet. And like I said, you can buy these jacketed hollow points at 100 count for $1 more than what you get those round nose. So if you bought them in higher quantities, like 500, it would be even less of a difference. So if you're interested in you running hollow points, then you can't go wrong with reloading. This bullet I got from Matt's Bullet. It's a 125 grain tapered cone, 9mm. I bought some other bullets from him. I saw these advertised on his site. I forget the mold. He always lists the molds of his bullet. It's a old Lyman mold. But this is supposed to be a great feeder in 9mm. And I said, I'm going to buy 100 just to try. That's a pet peeve I had when I first started. You couldn't buy small quantities of bullets from anybody. You know, nobody sells 20 bullets or 25. You got to buy at least 100. And then if you get them and they don't work, you're stuck, you know. So I bought 100 of these, and there's probably 60 left in there. I've loaded probably 40 of them. They are crap. They feed fine in my gun. They certainly just feed right in. That's no problem. But they tumble. I cannot keep those things flying straight. Every one I've ever shot's been a tumbler when it went into the target. So there's another 60 there that I'm just kind of stuck with. I don't know. If I get really bored, I might load them just to shoot them up. But you can't hit anything with them outside about 5 yards because they tumble so bad. This is 125 grain. This is a coated, high-tech coated bullet. It's got like a gold coating on it. This is from Bayou Bullets. These are great 9mm rounds. I just bought 100 of these to try them. I've only got a few of them left. I'm definitely going to buy some more. That's a great bullet. And then for 40 cal, I haven't been as experimental with my 40 cal. I just shoot 180 grain tapered cone. So these are all 40 cal bullets. As you can see, they're all basically the exact same thing. This is Full Metal Jacket from Everglades Ammo, right there. These shoot great in my gun, no problem. But I got into the high-tech coated bullets, and that's what I bought in bulk rather than the Full Metal Jacket. I don't notice a difference between the high-tech coated bullets. The ones that I've used have all been basically the same. I've not had any issues with any of them. These are Acme bullets. They make a good bullet. They ship in these wooden boxes, which are kind of handy to, you know, keep on your bench here and store bullets in. But they're good bullets. But one of the problems has been with 2020, everybody being sold out. Acme doesn't do back orders. So you'll just go on their site and you look and they'll say they're out of stock. You can get a notification, but you just have to sit and wait for them to come back into stock. So this darker cherry red is a Bayou Bullets. There's just their logo. I've got this little Tupperware thing I keep out here, and I just keep like 100 bullets in it. because I buy them in like 500 bullet sleeves, so it's convenient just to keep this here from just loading a few. And then when it gets low, I just dump some more in there. But I load all these interchangeably. If you look in here, I just dump a mix in there because they're all exactly the same. It looks like they all come out of the exact same molds. But I bought a lot of Bayou bullets, and the main reason I bought them is because they would take a back order. So this is the blue bullets. Same story with them. They were out of everything, but they would take back orders. And then this gold coated bullet, that is made by Hoosier Bullets out of Indiana. I had never bought from them before, but what happened earlier this summer, I was low on 40 cal bullets because that's the most recent caliber I started reloading, and I just didn't have a lot of bullets, and I couldn't get any more from Acme. So I ordered some from Bayou, but they said it was going to be like 3 months lead time, and they couldn't tell me when they were going to ship. They just let me know when they did, so I went ahead and ordered them. But I was worried. I just didn't want to have all my eggs in one basket. I've heard a lot of problems. Bayou had a problem they posted on their website. All orders are final, because I guess they had problems with people ordering from them and then also ordering from other people. And then if the other person shipped first, they would try to cancel their order with Bayou. Well, I didn't do that. I placed multiple orders, but I wanted multiple orders. So I ordered some from Bayou. I ordered some from Blue Bullets. They were telling me the exact same thing. They were out of them, but I could back order them and just wait for them. And they took about 3 months to ship. And then these Hoosier Bullets, I was just looking around online and I found them. And they were actually saying they had some in stock, and their pricing was pretty good. So I ordered those, and I got them in about a week and was real happy with them. They run just as well as the other ones do. So I got those in, and then these other two came. I've got some more 45 on back order from Bayou. I don't know when I'm going to get those. It could be January. But they're on their way. So that's what I like about those companies is you can order them. I would have ordered more Acme, but they didn't have them in stock, and I couldn't back order them, so that kind of left me with no choices. I get a lot of my bullets from Everglades, a lot of them from Bayou Bullets, and I would probably buy more of those Hoosier Bullets. I would have liked to order some 45 from them, but the only ones they offered were the 230 grain, which I'm not running anymore, so I couldn't buy any from them, and I'm pretty well stocked up with 9mm, so 40 cal was all I needed. So that's all I got from them. But hopefully that'll give you a little insight. Some places that have bullets, if they don't have them now, don't be afraid to back order them. You'll get them eventually. At least you'll have some on the way. Bayou is a great company to deal with. You can't go wrong with them. I've bought a lot of orders from them. The Blue Bullets, this is the first time I've ever ordered from the Blue Bullets, but they were good to me. I had a good experience with them, so I wouldn't hesitate to order from them again. And that same way with the Hoosier Bullets. And I think the last time I checked, they still had a lot of bullets in stock. They still weren't really back ordered. I think they're a smaller company than some of the other ones, so they're not getting hit as hard. So if you need some pistol bullets, go and check them out. So that's about all I got on bullets. Just kind of give you some ideas. I mentioned the ogive of the bullets. You may have to try a few different ones until you find one that works good in your gun. It's just trial and error. As I said, most of my guns I don't have any problems with, but that 45 of mine, it just has a really tight chamber, and it's a little bit of a pain until you get the right bullet. Now it runs like butter. So that's all I got. God bless you guys. Like I said, if you have anything you want me to make a video on, leave it in the comments. Now's a pretty good time because I'm going to have a lot of time on my hands here, and ability to make some videos. If there's anything specific you have questions about or anything. And we'll see you next time. Bye.